live on the Game Nashville Sports Network.
I'm Dave James with your Game Center update. The former Tennessee Titans linebacker Jack Gibbons has signed a one-year deal to rejoin Mike Vrabel with the New England Patriots. Gibbons had 167 total tackles over 3 seasons in Tennessee. The Nashville Predators lost 4-1 to the St. Louis Blues last night. The Preds will face the Anaheim Ducks on Thursday. Also, you can listen to Smashville Live at Brewhouse South in Franklin with special guest Jordan Marshall Show. You can listen here at 6 p.m. on 125 and 1063. The Game. The NC State Wolfpack has reached an agreement with McNeese State head coach Will Wade to become the next head coach for the Wolfpack. Wade has won 57 games over the last 2 seasons at McNeese State. He also went to 5 NCAA tournaments with LSU and VCU. Wade is still set to coach McNeese State in the tournament on Thursday versus Clemson. Now, here's your Fox 17 weather forecast.
I'm Fox 17 meteorologist Greg Bobes, and this afternoon, some showers and thunderstorms possible heading into the afternoon.
For more, log on to theGameNashville.com. Your sports live here on the Game Nashville Sports Network.
Your sports live here. WBUZ HD3 Laverne. We are the Game Nashville Sports Network. ESPN 94.9. The Fan.
30 years of the best sports talk in Middle Tennessee. It's the George Plaster Show, featuring Tennessee Sports Hall of Famers Kelly Holcomb and young gun Billy Derrick. And now, here's your host, George Plaster.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome in. It has become a cloudy and overcast Wednesday in Nashville. Pretty windy out there. Not bad, but tomorrow we're going to get a little dose of reality with a high more like 50.
You're kidding.
No. What do you think? I just make that up?
Sometimes.
By the way, Will Wade to NC State's been out there for a month. Those who are breaking news. We've been yapping this for weeks that he was going there. This was not a big surprise.
First reported by George?
Well, I don't know. Who cares? But I mean, come on.
Who cares?
Who cares? Let's get with Kelly Holcomb. He's the happiest man on the show today because he knows that I have gone in the dumper.
And once again, who cares?
Oh, I think you care. No, I think that's why.
I do. I kind of like it. I kind of like it. See, I kind of like watching you squirm in the seat. I like that.
Billy, go ahead and put the record up there. Just for those who may not be with us late, we've had a bunch of L's. And Kelly, that all stops today.
Oh, is that right? How many games you got today, George?
4. I'm bound to win one of them. This has not been good.
Kelly.
Yeah, you've lost a bunch of games here. You're 6 games under 500 now. Wow.
Yeah, I've taken on water.
I was going to say, could you say he's taken on water?
He is taking on water. He's taking on a lot right now because he was up pretty good. So it doesn't bother me at all. I like it.
God knows if anybody knows what that means, Billy, it would be you.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So now he's going to take it off you, and he's going to throw it back on you, Billy. He's going to take it off him and throw it on you.
That's called deflection.
That is correct.
Watch this. This is the signal for it, Billy. Watch closely. Put me back on. Deflect.
You're very good at that.
He's a politician, man. Deflect.
So let's listen closely to the update, which dadgum well better have some meat on the bone. It's got some NFL meat on the bone. I know that for sure.
Yeah, we've got some meat on the bone today. It's all brought to you by Lori Burnett Leland. You can find her online at mortgageladyusa.com or give her a call, 615-969-4350. Well, last night we had one good game and one awful game, and it might not have been the game you would have expected to have been a good game. Alabama State beats St. Francis 70-68 with, I guess you can call it a buzzer beater. It was, 3 seconds left? We got a full court heave, and Alabama State puts it in.
Are you showing us that?
I am not.
Okay, well, thanks.
Yeah.
Way to go, Billy. Way to be prepared today. That's awesome.
the update
You're
can
just
always be better.
too busy, I guess.
Yeah, had a lot going on today.
Doing what?
Show prep.
Is that so?
Oh, you had a lot going on today.
Wow.
I did. It was a busy day.
Get up about 9:30.
I'm sorry, I don't go to bed at 8 like Kelly.
I
Wow.
don't either. I need to start going to bed at 8, but I don't.
Yeah.
That's my problem.
Have dinner at 4:30.
Yeah.
Have it brought in during the show.
Alabama State will play Auburn on Thursday. North Carolina throttles San Diego State 95-68. They will play Ole Miss on Friday. Nice pick, George.
Shut up, Billy.
That was good, George. Nice, Billy.
First four continues tonight. 5:40 American favored by 2.5 against Mount St. Mary's. And
I'll tell you right now, just stop there.
Okay.
I'll tell you right now that I'm taking American. And you know why?
Why?
Because I'm an American.
Because you're an American. I knew you were going to say that.
At 8:10, Xavier favored by 3.5 over Texas. Should be an interesting game.
Tejas. If
But-
Tejas loses tonight, I'm not sure that
Old Rodney
there
Terry.
might not be a coaching change
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Y'all think so? Y'all think he'll get fired after what he did in the SEC tournament?
I don't know. I mean,
That's the
You
SEC
don't think that
tournament.
saved him?
I think you got a bunch of little JRUing wannabes, and they want to be the best. They want to be able to do that at all days, all hours of the day.
Yeah, but they ain't been the best in a while
No,
at anything.
Oh,
you tell them.
not bad in football. The better
Yeah,
game
the last
last-
couple of years, Billy. We're talking about decades, Hoss.
Okay. The better game last night, the game to watch, it was on ESPN Plus. Chattanooga and Middle.
Wow.
What a
Wow.
showdown that was. The Mocs pull it out in triple overtime, 109-103. And Kelly, I'm forgetting this guy's name for Middle. The Chip Walters actually got a picture with him after the
Yeah.
game.
I think it's the Mustafa guy. Is that who you're
Yeah,
talking about?
Mustafa had 30 points, 18
Yeah, he had
rebounds.
30.
And you
Yeah.
feel for him in Middle that they couldn't get it done. But Chattanooga's got a good team.
He is a stat sheet stuffer.
Yeah.
Say that 3
He
times.
is.
Yeah.
He is.
You mentioned Will Wade. I'll get to that in a second. But Clemson is working to finalize a new 6-year contract for Brad Brownell before
Yes.
he even plays in the tournament game this
And they're
this
doing
week.
that because there have been some rumors, whispers, shall we say.
in
But
regards
where?
to Brownell.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
The where?
think about it. Well, I'm not really sure. I just know that I keep hearing things about Brownell on the move. And, I mean, let's face it, that's not exactly a basketball school.
No.
It's a lot
Exactly.
like Georgia. It's football, spring football. And are you all aware we play basketball? It's not the greatest facility. Little John is a little bitty arena,
Kind of a
seats about
cracker box.
9. It is.
They've been
So-
good these last couple of years.
They
They went
have been.
27-6 this year. They'll play McNeese on Thursday. Led them to the Elite Eight last season. And speaking of McNeese, their head coach, Will Wade, is headed to NC State.
No,
Yes.
really?
This just in.
Is that so? Was that reported to the news desk?
Yes, it's
Okay.
now official.
Well, is it official?
Well, I don't think it's actually official.
Yeah,
but-
see, I mean, you used a term there.
Is it official or is it one of the Billy Derrick rumors that
No,
we hear about every now and then?
This is out
No,
there.
we're talking about reputable sources.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because
Not the-
Billy sometimes is not very reputable when it comes to that. He'll just throw something out there just to try to fill time.
Clay's
this
going to
spot.
call later and hammer you.
Yeah. All right. In the NFL, we've got some new rule change proposals from a few teams. 3 teams have submitted proposals to change rules. The Packers want to ban the tush push. That's nothing new.
Okay, let's give it a thumbs up if you like it. Kelly, what the hell? Get it into the picture.
Thumbs down.
Thumbs down. Wow.
Thumbs down, man. Freaking stop it. It's like old school football. It's like it takes you back to old school football with leather helmets, man. Stop it. Figure it out.
It's a freaking rugby scrum.
It's a rugby scrum. He's right.
That's what I'm saying. Stop it. Figure it out. Get some guys up. Like if you got to play the Giants or the Eagles, the Giants, the Cowboys, the Redskins, y'all better get some big fellas up front so you can have a chance.
Yeah.
You sound like
Figure it
no
out.
guard.
Figure it out, son.
What's the next
I don't
one?
need to hear about the labor pains. Just show me the baby.
Thank you. The Lions want to remove the automatic first down for defensive holding and illegal contact penalties.
I like that.
I'm good with that. I can't stand all that. All you have to do is throw the ball up, and more than likely, if it's not caught, it's going to be pass interference, or it's going to be holding. And if it's holding, yeah, it doesn't deserve that. I agree.
Well, when you've got 3rd and 22,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden you get defensive holding, automatic first down, that's why I'm giving it a thumbs up.
The Eagles want to change the overtime rules of the regular season to the same rules as the postseason, which means both teams get possession in overtime. I like that.
I'm in.
I'm in with that too.
Well, then
I'm
what you're supposed to do.
What, here?
Yes.
My bad.
Where the
Here.
camera can see you. You
Camera.
had some trouble
I'm
retaining
in with
info there. Okay.
I just think we just need to play football again, but both teams need an opportunity. Like that sudden death stuff, just like both teams got to that point, they got tied. How it happened, nobody, how it happened just shows the game. But like, you have to have an opportunity to possess the ball. Like if you score a touchdown, then the new rule is at least they give you a chance. Back in sudden death, if it was a field goal or if it was a touchdown, it didn't matter. You won the game. I think that they both fought hard for 60 minutes. Now let's let them have a possession each and go from there.
The Lions also propose that a wild card team should be seeded higher than a division champ if the wild card team has a better regular season record.
Totally agree. It's ridiculous to have a
Wow.
division champion hosting with an 8-8 record, and a team that's gone 11-5 has to go to them. That's ridiculous. Thumbs up.
That's not going to get changed, though.
Yeah.
That has
Why?
no shot.
Why?
I just don't think it has a shot. It's been that way forever. If you're a division champ, that says something. I kind of agree. I think the record says something. It means that you played good football over the year, but I just don't see him changing that. That's one of the deals where thumbs down.
Yeah, Larry says, then why have divisions?
He's raised a really good point there.
It's a good point.
Yeah. Well, was that a double?
Double.
You get a double thumb? Wow. Okay.
Double thumb.
That's wonderful.
Also, this just in, Mel Kiper is writing Cam Ward to the Titans in pen, not pencil. He's writing it in pen. He thinks firmly believes Cam Ward will be a Tennessee Titan.
If I could use his hair off the tee,
that's a great line.
You just kind of fluff a golf ball up there. I would improve. Pad? Oh, I think I would improve 5-6 strokes.
I just still don't understand how the Mel Kipers of the world and now Joe Lunardi of the world, like everything that Joe Lunardi puts out, everybody's like, oh, Lunardi said this. Like, how is he the ultimate source of this? And then Mel Kiper, he hit it the right time. He was doing something that nobody else was willing to do, and he did it a long time ago, and now everybody wants to do it, but he's kind of the legend that started it.
Well, they were both the first. Okay, right. Of these cottage industries. Now there are 4 or 5 people doing it, and they've copied virtually everything he's done, including first 4 out, last 4 in, last 4 buys. I mean, let's get some creativity.
All right, I want to get into some golf. We still got a little bit till the Masters, April the 7th, but the Masters Club dinner menu has been announced by Scotty Scheffler. The main course, a choice of wood-fired cowboy ribeye or blackened redfish. The dessert, a warm chocolate chip skillet cookie. You also have the first course is a Texas-style chili. That skillet cookie, that's a big time.
Okay. Kelly, what would be your menu?
Oh gosh, that's a good one, George.
Yeah.
You'd have to have some kind of ribeye.
Okay.
You know what? I hate to, like my wife makes this for my son, but it's really good. And I'm not saying I'm a fan, but cowboy beans,
Mm.
some baked beans with a little meat in them. That's really
Mhm.
good.
Okay.
I'd have to have some sort of salad because I'm a salad guy, man.
Mhm.
I'm a bougie guy, I guess you call it in today's world, Billy. I'm bougie, so I'd
You
have
like
to
the
have some
chili
kind of
too.
salad. I do like the chili. The best chili. Have y'all ever had Outback's chili? Outback's chili has no beans in it.
That was really good.
It's really good. Really good. And
But
then the
that's
dessert, man, you can't. I wish I could have some. I wish I could get Chewy's to make me some of their tres leches. Have you ever had that? Tres
what are
leches?
those?
Is it leches? It's 3 milk. It's so good. It's unbelievable.
Oh wow.
Is it tres leches? Tres leches? Tres leches? Whatever. It's 3 milks is what it is, and it's so good. When you go to
That's
Chewy's one time, Billy, I know you'll be there. Order you one, and you'll see what I'm
okay.
talking about.
Okay. I've come up with my menu.
Tell us.
It's got a little bit of Greek stuff in it.
Okay.
Baklava.
No, we're going to start with pasticcio. Pasticcio is a really good kind of spaghetti deal that, frankly, we do better than the
Oh.
Americans. Pasticcio.
Have you ever done it yourself?
Cooked it? Good Lord.
Yeah.
No. Oh, God.
Okay, so then don't put yourself we in there, okay?
Okay. Fair enough. We're going to have green beans,
All
which
right.
is my favorite food. We're going to have some Caesar salad. I think that'd be nice to go along with it.
Nice.
We will have tiropitas. Those are the cheese triangle jobbies with the phyllo dough. And for dessert, we're going to have a little pecan pie with cookies and cream on top.
Oh, wow, George. Okay.
Yeah.
Little cookies and cream?
Cookies and cream, baby.
Oh, nice.
Glad we got that settled.
That's all
What
out.
about you, Billy? You probably have like some slim chickens or something delivered.
Subway. Eat fresh.
Or Jersey Mike's.
Or
Hey guys, we're
McDonald's.
gonna have Jersey Mike's, and here we go. I just bought some from Publix for you for
It's like
dessert.
it would be like Trump to the White House with McDonald's. We got some baseball news.
Well, hold on a second.
Okay.
Do you not have a meal?
Well, I mean, definitely do steak, potatoes,
Okay.
green beans, probably.
Green beans.
I like mac and cheese, but that's pretty. I don't. That's kind of
It can spice
bland.
it up a little bit. I've seen a lot of mac and cheeses that are
Truffle,
spiced up.
truffle mac and cheese, maybe.
Oh, truffle
then-
mac and cheese is good.
And then definitely skillet cookie. That's the best dessert I've seen.
Skillet
I think
cookie's
this
good.
meal needs to happen if I ever break 85 at Harpeth Hills.
If you
That's
break it, who's buying? Are we
No,
the
I'm
ones
talking about
buying? Or
my meal.
you're okay. You're gonna buy. You're gonna buy. You're gonna buy for
Well,
us too.
Hell no. No. What else do you have, Billy?
Craig Kimbrell is back in Atlanta.
Yes. It's about time.
He's signed a minor league deal with the Braves.
Should have happened 5 years ago.
Yeah, he'll make $2 million if he gets called up to the major league team. He pitched well for the Orioles last season before struggling for the last 6 weeks. Braves also signed James McCann,
who lives in Nashville,
to a minor league deal.
Former Arkansas Razorback.
Yeah.
Okay, we done?
Yep.
Okay, good show for you today. After the break, Mike Organ will join us with news that I don't think a lot of us saw coming involving Eddie George's staff at Bowling Green. Then Rick Byrd at 4 o'clock, because I have yet another dream.
What is it?
Well, the dream that I have, it's not a good dream. But for instance, let me tell you where it goes. Okay, tomorrow night start times on the night games, the early night games, 5:50, 6:10, 6:25, and 6:35. The 6:35 is Missouri and Drake. I have a dream that it goes 2 overtimes, and we have numerous stoppages of play for review, so that the Texas Tech UNC Wilmington game will start at 10:15. Get where I'm going?
Your dreams, huh?
Well, I just think it's going to happen. The networks try to allow 2 hours for the game and 30 minutes for warm-up between games. There hadn't been a game played in I don't know how long in 2 hours. So we're going to talk with Rick Byrd about what are the mechanisms for change, because change is coming when it comes to all this review garbage.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Because change is coming to Major League Baseball with all that stuff. You know, change is coming some way, but how can you quicken these games up? You're absolutely right.
Okay, we'll go to the break on that. And Mike Organ, Nashville's hardest working sports personality, will join us on 94.9 The Fan.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
It's easy to say good things about the folks at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers. Number one, I trust them with something that's near and dear to me, the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. But more importantly, I see the fun people have. They enjoy the bowling, they enjoy the camaraderie, and you will too. Come by any of their locations and get ready to have some fun.
As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnelly Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
For over 35 years, Wilson Bank & Trust has been committed to providing customized banking solutions to help individuals, families, and businesses in Tennessee achieve their goals. As your full-service community bank, we are proud to offer loans with competitive rates, local decision-making, and fast, friendly service from our experienced lenders. No matter where you are on your financial journey, Wilson Bank & Trust is ready to help you take the next step. Visit your nearest Wilson Bank & Trust office or online at wilsonbank.com to get started today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Venture Express has been helping people in this area for more than 40 years. They're headquartered in Murfreesboro with over 30 years of dedicated fleets involving production, manufacturing, and corrugated experiences. They're an asset-based company with over 700 tractors, 4,000 trailers, and 800 drivers. If you need their help, dial them up 615-793-9500 or log on to ventureexpress.com.
ET checking options allow you to earn rewards you can really use, like a high interest rate or cash back on check card purchases when you meet some e-banking qualifications. Visit your closest Wilson Bank & Trust office or online at wilsonbank.com to get started today. Member FDIC.
Venture Express has been helping people in this area for more than 40 years. They're headquartered in Murfreesboro with over 30 years of dedicated fleets involving production, manufacturing, and corrugated experiences. They're an asset-based company with over 700 tractors, 4,000 trailers, and 800 drivers. If you need their help, Dial them up, 615-793-9500, or log on to ventureexpress.com.
Hey, Preds fans, good Wednesday. They're back in action tomorrow night at Bridgestone Arena against the Anaheim Ducks. But join us for Smashville Live tonight at Brewhouse South in Cool Springs, as our guest will be Jonathan Marchessault. It all starts at 6 o'clock.
Smashville lives here on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
It's the George Plaster Show.
Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
It is time for our weekly visit with Nashville's hardest working sports personality, and that would be Mike Organ from the Tennessean, who earlier, I guess late last night, broke the story, one that none of us really saw coming, that Brandon Fisher is going to Bowling Green to be Eddie George's defensive coordinator. Mike, I was stunned by it because Brandon has told me for some time that his intention was to stay here. To me, this signals how bad TSU's situation is.
Yeah, George, Brandon had told me the same thing, to the point where he'd even said he'd probably get out of coaching if it meant having to leave Nashville. That's how much he loves Nashville. So the fact that he would leave TSU when he still had a position there tells me that, yeah, things are, well, I mean, validates that things are really bad there, which we've already known. I think last count that I got today was that 20 players have entered the transfer portal. And this is on a team that already was losing a lot of really good talent that shared the OVC championship last season. So it's dire over there. They need a new coach. The new coach is going to have to hire new staff because Eddie's taken Brandon. He's already taken a couple of other assistants. He's taken one that I broke today, George. I don't know if you saw, Dwayne Alexander.
I did, and I'm thrilled for
to be Eddie's tight ends coach. And Eddie had just hired him to be the offensive line coach at TSU.
Yeah, I'm thrilled for Dwayne Alexander, who is a good man. Both of us have gotten to know him more. In fact, all three of us, Kelly included, over the years with the National Football Foundation. So, Mike, where is this coaching search going, best as you can tell?
Well, I think the athletics director, Mickey Allen, has spent well, I know he has almost all of this week doing nothing but coaching the football team, which is one thing he has to do because he appointed himself interim football coach when Eddie left, and they're in spring practice right now. They were going into spring practice that week. So he's what little time he's not coaching the football team, he's interviewing coaches. I don't think they're going to promote from within anymore, which I thought most of us felt was probably the best idea if they could talk Brandon Fisher into staying, or Joe Bowden's still a possibility. He was Eddie's associate head coach, linebackers coach, former longtime Tennessee Titan. I think he would be okay. I think he would be good. I don't think anybody's going to be okay. It's going to be an uphill struggle, no matter what coach it is. I don't care if Nick Saban comes out of retirement and goes over there to see what he can do. It's going to be tough. And then beyond that, the only thing I know for sure is they're out of the celebrity business. I don't think this coach is going to be a big splash. They tried it with Eddie and it was successful. I don't think they're going to try it again because I think they feel like they were fortunate. Ray Lewis was mentioned back when Eddie was hired, and I'd heard his name thrown out there a little bit this time around. But I think they've steered away from that, and it's going to be a more traditional football coach hire.
Okay, I'm going to come out of left field with this one because it really hadn't gotten talked about a lot. I pulled up a minute ago Belmont's record on the men's side. 13-7 in league play, in a good Missouri Valley Conference, 22-11 as an overall record. In a climate where you've got an NIT that is a watered-down field, and you've got this Fox-created thing in about a week and a half with a lot of Big Ten and Big 12 and that kind of stuff. How in the world does Belmont not get any postseason play at all? I don't get that.
Yeah, that's a good question. And if I wasn't bogged down with a coach search with the NCAA tournament, we've got two area teams in the NCAA tournament with the Lipscomb men and the Tennessee Tech women, and NASCAR season going on. I would love to sit down with Scott Corley, and I plan to once things start to simmer down a little bit in the next 2 to 3 weeks, and talk to him about that, George. How do you not end up somewhere? You beat MTSU's in the NIT. I don't know how you don't, if that was a choice by Belmont, and I can't imagine it being. But on top of everything else, George, it kind of stresses what we've talked about before. Belmont's just kind of fallen off and is now just a good, solid college basketball program, nothing special in this new league. Had they stayed in the OVC, they'd have been in the NCAA tournament the last 3 years. I don't think there's any question about that, either them or, Murray wouldn't have been there because Murray's had already moved. So, the OVC is a conference they would have dominated and been in the NCAA tournament 3 years in a row. So going back to where they had the long string going. So that's something I hope to get an answer from Scott. Scott better than I do. And I just can't imagine them passing on it. But I'm sure Rick Byrd will have some input when you have him on next hour.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but when I tried to think about potential opponents for Lipscomb, one thing that I did not want for them was a really bruising, physical team, and that's exactly what they got in Iowa State. Mike, they got a tough matchup.
They do. The only silver lining, and I hate to point to an injury as a silver lining, but Iowa State's backup, or not backup, but starting guard, I think he's the shooting guard, is injured, has a growing injury that must be pretty severe because they've already ruled him out for the entire tournament. Beyond that, this is going to be a tough go for Lipscomb, and Lenny Acuff, the Lipscomb coach, said it Sunday night when it popped up on the board on the Flexi show. I was there, and he said it right away. A lot of times, we used to see this with Belmont a lot when Belmont would get in the NCAA tournament, and Rick Byrd would say, "Well, don't know much about them. We're going to have to watch film tonight." But Lenny already knew about this team, and like you said, he knew it was going to be a challenge. I think Lipscomb is athletic, but I don't think they're that physical. And so I think that's going to be something you're going to see Iowa State stress. And 4 players, I think, check in at over 6'10". Always a challenge for a mid-major to kind of match up that kind of talent or personnel in the paint. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough go for them. And I mentioned Tennessee Tech a while ago on the women's side. It's going to be a tough go for them, too, against South Carolina.
Why not, match them up with the Lakers at that point? All 4 of us involved right now, you, me, Kelly, Billy, we're all at Lipscomb's, clinching the berth victory over North Alabama. And the scene afterwards was incredible. And I'm guessing that the party on Sunday, the selection party, was probably equally as fun.
I expected it to be, George, but it wasn't. They kind of kept it down low key. I'd say 300 people were there. The pep band was there, the cheerleaders. It was a little bit more intimate setting. The game clinching, the conference championship clinching game was just off the rails, as you said. I mean, standing room only. You know, they don't put a capacity crowd on Allen Arena. It says around 5,000 because you can stand a lot of people up on that top deck, and they did. It was standing room only. So it was over 5,000 people, I feel like. And what a great atmosphere, and just the perfect ending to the tournament. And I'm disappointed, George, and I'm sure you are too, that that conference is going away from home venues next year, and they're moving to somewhere in Mississippi for a couple of years, and then they'll move it around. I felt like for mid-majors, that conference had it right. The Atlantic Sun had it right by being at home for home venues, because two things. One, it made the regular season that much more rewarding for you. If you play well and you earn that number one seed, you stay home all the way through the championship. So it makes the regular season mean something instead of just seeding for the tournament. And the other thing is that environment for the championship game was just incredible. And for the semifinals game was a good turnout too.
Absolutely. Billy, I know you're looking it up. Is it not Jacksonville they're going to?
Yeah, it's Jacksonville.
Yeah, I mean, when I think, like I said, when I think of the great rabid basketball areas, Lexington, Kentucky, Bloomington, Indiana, Little Rock, Fayetteville, Arkansas, Jacksonville. So, Kelly, are you going to address Mike as Mike, or more like wedding creator? You know where I'm going.
He's bringing a lot of attention. Jalen just texted me not too long ago, and somebody else wrote another story, and she was like, "Where is all this coming from?" And I said, "Girl, sometimes it just happens. A spotlight comes on you." I said, "Just go with it." So I got to thank Mike for doing that, because it was, I've got to go out and get me a paper. I told Mike to send it to me. My wife was having trouble downloading it off the internet, but
hold on,
I certainly.
I've got one today for you, Kelly.
I have not seen it yet. I don't think.
Oh no! I'm sorry. The print, it will be in tomorrow's paper, I believe.
Okay, tomorrow. Well, somebody told me today it was in today's.
Yeah, I saw it today.
Oh, okay. Well, if it's in today's, I'm sorry. I've been so busy inside here that mine's laying out in the driveway. So I'll go outside and grab it and get it to you. I sure will. And you tell Jalen she could have, if this is getting on her nerves a little bit, she could have avoided this. One word would have taken care of this. All she had to do was say no.
No, I'm with you, man. Hey, I told her, I said, go for everything when you get some recognition, you got to go with it. She don't like all that stuff. She didn't like when she became the all-time leading scorer. I'm like, Jalen, it's something that is part of your life. It's a memory that you're going to have. Just go out and enjoy it, honey, because she was worried about, because Jalen did get hurt and she had 6 years there, but in her 4 years, she had a time where she messed up her knee and she was out for a month and a half, out 6 weeks. And then she's worried about, well, there's going to be an asterisk by it because I got to play 5 years. And I'm like, Jalen, you were hurt for a whole year and then you were hurt for another year. Just relax and enjoy it, honey. But I told her the recognition, and I got to give it to Mike. He's done a really good job of giving her some recognition and giving Will. And I like it. I just told her to go with it.
Mike, did Kelly try to create through you a GoFundMe page?
I have to say, Kelly has been in the background. After things come out, he asked me to get them to him, but he does not. He's not the pushy parent, and he's not told me, tried to. Of course, I already know how good of a player Jalen is, so he's not had to push her on me in that respect. I have to say that Kelly's been I think that his Boots Donnelly background, being under that discipline, is showing up now. And I'm going to tell you guys, I want to say it on the radio, those are two of the greatest kids that I've dealt with. I'm heading on 40 years in this business in August, and I can't think of two kids that I like any better than Jalen Holcomb and Will Pruitt. Great kids, and they're going to have a wonderful life together.
Wow. Well, I appreciate that, Mike. I was definitely blessed. My wife and myself are blessed for a young man to come in to our family like that. So, all right, enough of all this. Let's move on. So, I gotta ask you this. Since y'all were talking about TSU, you talked about they made a splash with Eddie George, but how in the world, with the way that things are now, could they make a splash with another coach? I just don't see that happening. And I see them, are they having to like look back through the roster of all and like seeing coaches that used to play at TSU, and maybe that's a deal that they go get somebody that was an alma mater, that's their alma mater, and go get. I mean, that seems like that's where it's at for TSU right now. Am I not right?
Oh yeah, I mentioned when the day after Eddie was officially named at Bowling Green, I tried to get out in front and put together a hot board of candidates, and that included Shannon Harris, who I think is now in the UFL. He was a quarterback at TSU in the early 2000s. Ed Saunders is on the staff at FRA with Justin Geisinger now. He's been a college coach in the past. He was a quarterback at TSU. He played football at Maplewood. I think that's where you are. I mean, guys like that, I don't think you are able to put any stipulations on your hire here. Like, in the many years that I've covered Vanderbilt and the many coaching searches I went through there, Paul Houlihan would come out and say, well, we want somebody with head coaching experience. We're going to start there. You can't do that in this kind of a search. You've let it known, you posted it, you look through the resumes of the people, you look through the list of resumes of the people that are interested, and then you call some in. And I think you make a hire within the next week or no later than 2 weeks by any stretch, and get somebody in there and just let them try to hold the program together, and let's see what happens with the school. I mean, the financial issues with the school are still there. Both of the two coaches that I wrote about leaving, Eddie George and Brandon Fisher, both pointed out the challenges they were up against. And what made winning a championship last year even special was they did it with the restrictions they were under, with all the limitations. So it's not a good situation. So it's going to be a tough go for whoever gets it. And you're going to have to make it as attractive as possible, but you're not going to be getting somebody that's already in a good position, Kelly. There's no doubt about that. Nobody in a good position right now would come here, I don't think, because it wouldn't even be a lateral move, I don't think.
Yeah, and I know you're really close with Eddie, and I know you talked to him, and I know he wanted obviously to get out of here, but like, was that his only opportunity to go somewhere else to a bigger school, or did he have some more opportunities? And I just don't understand, like, if you're a coach, like, I know that that's back in where he made his heyday back in the day at Ohio State. He's back in the state of Ohio, but with that being said, like, how do you take a job when the AD tells you that, hey, you've got to keep the staff that was here?
Well, apparently that wasn't the case. We thought it was. I was told by two strong sources that it was, but now he's taking Brandon with him. He's taking Dwayne with him. I've heard of one or two other coaches that he's looking at. Now, I don't know if those coaches left the staff voluntarily. They didn't want to stay under Eddie or what. But as far as him going back there, even if that was a stipulation, let's say it was, to answer one of your questions, Eddie did have other opportunities. He had other inquiries. He had other people reach out to him. He accepted some interviews. He didn't accept others. George had said on your show a while back that Kennesaw was interested in him, and that would have been an okay position. But, this gets him back in his footprint where he's the, favored son back in Ohio, not too far from Columbus. Name still known in that area, which will help him in recruiting. And it's in a good conference, a good solid conference. We all know the MAC is a tough conference. You're going to get in the bowl game every year if you get post a winning record. So that combined with the fact of what was going on at TSU, he wants to continue his coaching career. and it wasn't going to go beyond TSU after this season. He was in his fifth of a 5-year contract, and I don't think TSU was going to be able to renew his contract. Quite frankly, they just didn't have the money. He was one of the highest paid FCS coaches in the country, and as we all know now, TSU is not in any position to be paying a football coach the kind of money he was making, considering the financial straits they're in.
So I know we got to run, but you talk about this, and George calls you the busiest man in Nashville. But like, is this your busy time of year? Do you ever have a time where you can just catch up, take your breath, take a break, relax a little bit? I know this is a busy time of year, but is this the busiest of your year?
Well, it's like, Kelly, when I said a while ago that when things settle down a little bit, I want to talk to Scott Corley at Belmont about Belmont's situation. Well, that never happens. Things never settle down because things pop, if they're not already on the calendar, things pop up like crazy. So this has got to be as busy a time as I've had this year, because right now I've still got football going on with Eddie there, and with all that's going on at Tennessee State. And then we've got the NCAA tournament going on, which this time last year we didn't have a team in the NCAA tournament. If you think back, we didn't have a local team in the tournament. So I wasn't nearly this busy this time last year. So, yeah, this is as busy a time as I've been under in the past calendar year.
Mike, thanks for doing this. We'll look forward to seeing you next week. Try to behave until then.
Okay, before I get back to work, I'm going to walk outside and get the newspaper for Kelly.
It's too cheap to buy one. Dadgum. See ya.
See you guys. Bye-bye.
Okay, after the break, we'll find out why he's too cheap to buy one. Maybe, I don't know. But we do have some things to talk about. Stick around. This is 94.9, The Fan.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
This is my buddy Stan Harrison from Apple Collision Centers. Recently, you've been talking to me about companies that have a fleet of trucks and they're always in need of repairs.
That's right, George. We understand that nobody likes to deal with the auto body repair process. We try to simplify that at our 3 convenient locations. We work with all major insurance companies. We help to ease the stress of the auto body repair process. We're located in Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin. If you need our services, please stop by and see us.
And how convenient that we have that in the background. Now, seriously, these are good folks. They do really good work. Give them a holler.
Where can you see a saber-toothed tiger rappel from the rafters? How about a catfish fly? The biggest stars in Music City. Not to mention hockey's hottest ticket. The Predators win! Only in Smashville. See your Nashville Predators all season long at Bridgestone Arena. Single game tickets are on sale now at NashvillePredators.com. Let's go, Preds!
If you are paying too much for your health insurance, you know what? You need to contact the folks at Pancoast Benefits. Pancoast works with businesses and individuals to tackle the high cost of health insurance. Whether you're a business owner, large or small, self-employed, between jobs, or over the age of 65 and in need of a Medicare plan, Pancoast can help. They make understanding your benefits less difficult and more personal. So check them out today, pancoastbenefits.com, or call them at 615-292-3400. JB's Poorhouse in Hermitage has one of the best sports bar setups around, and it'll play host to the George Plaster Show on Thursday, March the 20th. That's the first full day of March Madness. Large TVs, Great hoops, terrific food, and friendly service. It's what JB's Poorhouse is all about. See you on March 20th for a day full of what I call adult spring break.
We're not living in an era where perfection is necessary.
They thought they were a championship contending team.
Here, we told you not to do this. Your sports live here.
On ESPN 94.9.
And the Game Nashville Sports Network.
It's the George Plaster Show.
Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Tomorrow is magical. The opening big day of the NCAA basketball tournament. We will be at JB's Poorhouse out in Hermitage. If you're anywhere near that area, stop in. Kelly, among the inducements, Plaster Bowling Night T-shirts.
Hey, you might have a packed house tomorrow night because of the Plaster T-shirts. There's no question.
I can feel your sarcasm.
How many do you still have left?
Quite a few.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, why did you overdo it this time?
For things like this, promotional. Kelly.
Oh, is that
Get
right?
in the
You're
21st
smart, George.
century.
You're a smart Greek fella, ain't you?
Pasticho. With a little tidopita. Okay, guys, I want you to give me a winner. Louisville, Creighton. Billy?
Louisville.
Kelly?
Cardinals.
It's a home field, but they're not the better team.
Maybe not. It's Louisville.
They got a home game. Gonzaga, Georgia.
The Zags.
Ooh. I'm going to go with Georgia. I'm not sure. You know what? Sorry. You know what? Because I said it yesterday with Taylor or the other day with Taylor. I'm going to go with the Zags.
Okay. Kansas, Arkansas. This is not a great Kansas.
Arkansas.
Let's call them Hogs. A&M, Yale. Anybody dare go Ivy League?
Lightning doesn't strike twice.
Missouri, Drake. This is Missouri's worst nightmare, playing these people. These people are smart.
Yeah, but Mizzou traps. They pressure on defense. I don't think Drake's going to be able to handle that.
Excuse me. Wow. BYU, VCU.
BYU.
The Cougars.
I agree. What do y'all think will be the big upset tomorrow?
McNeese. Or is that tomorrow or Friday?
Yeah, it's tomorrow, 2:15.
I got McNeese.
Really?
Yep.
Do you think their players have a little letdown knowing Will Wade's bolting?
No, because I think he's going to bring a lot of them with him to NC State.
Okay, good thought.
That's a good thought.
Also, I really want Lipscomb to pull it off. It's going to be tough, but a little nugget here for anyone rooting for Lipscomb in the tournament. The last time Joe Anderson was in the dance was when Furman beat Virginia in that big upset.
Oh, wow.
Who was on the call for that game? Kevin Harlan. Harlan is calling Lipscomb's game against Iowa State on Friday.
Is he really?
Yeah.
That's a good man. I know him a little bit.
That's cool for Lipscomb.
He's a good man.
Because I remember, was it Harlan called, was it Lipscomb or Belmont? It was either the last time Lipscomb was in or the last time Belmont was in.
It may have been Belmont beating Temple.
I think that's
he may
what
have
it was.
been in on the call of that thing.
Yeah.
So, okay, what's the big upset tomorrow?
I like McNeese.
I don't know if there's a better one than what Billy just said. I mean, like,
But it's usually
I don't
one
know
that
how
no
that
one's
I don't know
talking
how
about.
that goes in the locker room when you know the coach is leaving. But now with the transfer portal, just like Billy said, with the transfer portal, you're probably going to, just like happened to JMU in football. I mean, he took all those kids to Indiana. So you would say
you're flunking out. No worries. Come on over to.
that's right. I don't know how that works nowadays. It'll be interesting to see. I think Billy's probably hit it on the head.
I'm going to give you one to be careful about. It has a 9:00 start time schedule, which means it'll probably go closer to 10.
UC San Diego
beats Michigan.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Keep an eye on High Point and Purdue. Purdue's not. They're not great shakes. I mean, no more Zach Edey. I could see High Point winning that.
He was sort of the insurance policy, the security blanket. Okay. After the break, stat of the day, followed by the legendary Belmont basketball coach Rick Byrd. Got a lot of stuff to talk to him about. This is 94.9 The Fan.
Looking for a reason to skip work and watch hoops? We got you.
Bueller.
Join us from 9 to 6 this Thursday at Boomba's Pizza and Watch Bar in Murfreesboro, 2839 Medical Center Parkway. Watch some games and don't worry about work.
Yeah, that sounds like a swing shindig.
You might want to let your boss know first. Work! Join us at Boomba's in Murfreesboro. Eat, drink, watch. Your sports live here on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville Sports Network.
Safe firearms storage saves lives. That's why the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security is offering free cable locks to help Tennesseans secure their firearms. Learn where you can request your free cable lock at safestoretn.com. That's safestoretn.com. Brought to you by the Department of Safety and Homeland Security, the Tennessee Association of Broadcasters, and this station.
Discover a tradition of excellence at St. Andrew's Sewanee School, an Episcopal boarding and day school serving grades 6 through 12. Nestled on 550 scenic acres in Sewanee, Tennessee, SAS sits right next door to the University of the South. We offer an excellent small school experience with elite programming absent of elitism. Come see us and you'll find out what sets us apart from other schools regionally and nationally. Learn more about our 5- and 7-day boarding options at www.sasweb.org. St. Andrew's Sewanee School. Challenge, balance, enjoy.
Your sports live here. WBUZ HD3 Laverne. All around the world on the Game Nashville app. We are the Game Nashville Sports Network. ESPN 94.9 The Fan. A Cromwell media station.
It's the George Plaster Show.
Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Rick Byrd, former Belmont head coach, joining us next. But we got stat of the day brought to you by Apple Collision Centers. Before that, you can find them in Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin. Give them a call, 615-754-9800, or log on to applecollisioncenters.com. All right, here's what we got today. We're going more college hoops. UNC looked dominant against San Diego State last night. Can you name the two teams to make the Final Four after playing in Dayton?
Kelly, yes, I can.
Go ahead, George.
VCU and UCLA. Book it.
Book it.
Boom.
Yeah.
We've had that one before.
Oh, you're just trying to downplay a great accomplishment.
We've had that one before. I've never heard that one, Billy.
I don't remember that one. I think that was Billy trying to throw some cold water on a big win.
Yeah, he was. He was trying to throw in today's sayings of young people. He was trying to throw shade, George, on you is what he's trying to do.
Oh, we've had it before.
Billy,
no, we haven't.
You should be ashamed.
Y'all are having senior moments.
No, we're not having any. No, that certainly was not a senior moment at all. VCU under Shaka Smart when they did that.
And UCLA with Jaime Jaquez. And I think Mick Cronin was there.
Yeah. Anyway, we welcome all of you officially into the 4 o'clock hour. From our digs at the Fordyce Center in Bellevue, we are joined by the Hall of Famer, the legendary Belmont basketball coach, Rick Byrd, who I got a lot of stuff I want to talk to him about. Rick, how are you?
I'm good, George. How are you?
Good. Golf game good?
It's the quantity is better than the quality.
How about the tennis?
I'm on injured reserve with the tennis. I got a little hip problem that slows down my dramatic quickness that I have. So I haven't played in a while.
So, Kelly, you've never heard this, but in the old days of noon ball, back when I was younger and thinner, Rick Byrd was really quick, and his eyes would light up if there was kind of pick and roll, and all of a sudden, slow George had to guard quick Rick. I've never seen anybody look so happy.
You shouldn't have been switching those screens, George.
You know what? There's a lot of truth to that. You just stay right where you are. I'm not going anywhere.
Oh man, those were some great days.
Oh man, they were. Little did we know at that point that we would reach this age, and some of the stuff that worked doesn't work now. So
most of it.
Yeah. So tell me this: we're in the first 4 phase, both last night and tonight. And I remember when it first came about, thinking that this is just not right. It doesn't mean anything. It's, teams being sent off to Cambodia or something. And then I watched what that victory over Temple meant for you in Dayton. And boy, that changed my whole feeling about it. Talk to me, if you will, about what that night was like for you.
Yeah, it's funny how when things work out in your favor, they seem like they're better ideas now, right?
It is, isn't it?
It's hard to put into words. And partly because I knew at that point that was going to be my last year. And I think we were the only team that Joe Lunardi didn't put in his bracketology. So we were the most surprise pick to get in. And so that alone was huge. But we had kind of an elephant on our back because we'd been there 7 times previously and hadn't won an NCAA tournament game. Now, we were always playing top 20 teams, but we still hadn't won one. And so to play a good Temple team and get a win in that kind of a scenario was, top 2 or 3 highlight of my coaching career, and certainly the basketball program at Belmont. So yeah, and it was, the moments after those kind of wins are always the things you remember. And we had to immediately get on a flight to Jacksonville and got in about 3 a.m. That it's a little bit of a blur, but it's also a feeling that you can't describe. There's plenty of bad feelings in that business, plenty of losses that never go away. But that was probably as good as it's going to get.
And then you went toe-to-toe with Maryland 2 days later and darn near won that one. So, yeah. Rick, part of why I wanted to get you on today is this little dream I have, which is that one of these games tomorrow, the NCAA tries to allot 2 hours for the game and then about 30 minutes of warm-up time between games. But you and I both know there have been very few 2-hour games this year. You're having the final 2 minutes take 36 minutes in the Texas A&M Vanderbilt game back several weeks ago. And so I've got this wild dream that one of these 9 o'clock games is going to end up at like 12:30 in the morning. And that's what I want you to talk about. We know there's a problem. What are the mechanisms in the college basketball world to decide if something like that gets fixed?
Well, I was the chair of the Rules Committee, I guess 10 years ago. 2015 was the year that we changed some rules. And in fact, we changed, we made a lot of adjustments to try to get the scoring better because scoring was just down as much as it's ever been. But there were already replays going on at that point, and there was always a discussion about what do we add, because when it's there and it can help you get it right, it's hard to say let's don't do it, frankly. But there's also the big concern about where we are now, where it's got to now. They've added a whole lot more, and it seems to me like an awful lot of those have to do with these possible flagrant fouls. I know there's other things, but that seems to take an awful lot of the time. But anyway, you just, it's like any other rule. You sit there and you talk about it and you vote on whether to add this or add that. I'll tell you one that I thought should have been added at that point was if a shot was taken at the end of a shot clock and it was really close and it goes in, should it be reviewed? And my point was, hey, we're reviewing whether it was a 2 or a 3, and that's 1 point. That one means that it needs to be reviewed because it's worth 3 points. So we added that at the time, and it's still in. So anyway, it goes like that. I'm sure that especially this year, because this is a rules changing year, odd number years or rule changes, that this is going to be a hot topic in that room. I can't even remember, 12 or 15 or so committee members made up of coaches at different levels, athletic administrators, mostly athletic directors, maybe a conference commissioner or assistant commissioner or two. And there's one NCAA Division I high-level official in the room that is a non-voting part of that. And frankly, I leaned on her the 2 years that I was the chair. I leaned on those guys for what they thought about it. You shouldn't change the rule to make it easier for them to officiate, but when you can do that and make it even more fair, you should think about it. And so I don't know the answer to this. Some people have suggested that you get 1 or 2 challenges, that kind of thing. I guess that's what the NBA does. I don't watch a lot of NBA, but something needs to be done. There's no doubt.
Rick, what I'm about to ask about does not fix the problem. But why do we have in the first half the timeout in the final minute where the coach has I better take it or I'm going to lose it? And to me, that's where a coach earns his money, where the team already knows how to handle that final shot of the half. Why do we need that?
I don't think we do. And in fact, that year, 2015, we reduced the number of timeouts, and there should be less now with all those TV timeouts. I think we used to get 5 total when there were no such thing as media timeouts. So I think it helps. I think that helps. I agree with you. A team should be able to adjust and do what they need to do without having to take one that now you could say, well, does that mean we take away one of the timeouts, or does it mean you just got another one for the second half that makes it even longer? I don't know. I think you take them away. I don't think we need this many timeouts. And I think you're right. I think the teams that are better coached would perform better.
We're talking with the legendary Hall of Fame basketball coach from Belmont, Rick Byrd. Kelly, I know you got some stuff for him, so fire away.
Coach, how you doing?
I'm great, thanks.
Hey, so you've been out a little bit. What do you miss? What do you miss about coaching basketball? Do you ever think? I'm sure you think about it. I'm sure you sit down and watch TV and you think, what you would do. But what do you miss about the game?
I miss the players and the relationships with the coaching staff, and frankly, the people that I worked with in the athletic department. Many of them for almost the 33 years I was there. You see the same people every day, and then all of a sudden, in my case, June 1, you hardly ever see them again. But I don't miss the grind of trying to figure out how to win the next game, and you're always trying to figure out how to win the next game, whether it's in the recruiting process or watching hours and hours of video to get ready for your opponent, or you're watching your own team, and there's always more you can do. And if you've been fortunate enough to have a level of success, there's pressure in not wanting to ever back up, not go the other way. There's pressure when you're not winning enough too. Believe me, I get that, but I don't miss that part of it. And when it was over and done, it was pretty amazing to me how I didn't realize how much anxiety and pressure I felt in that job until it wasn't there. I'm not complaining or whining. It's what we wanted to do, and if you didn't feel it, you're probably not going to be very good. But it was there.
Yeah, I think it's a deal where you got to be uncomfortable and you got to be comfortable in uncomfortable situations. That's, I coached football after I finished playing. I coached football for 9 years, 10 years, and I became the offensive coordinator, and this was just the high school level, but I was like, your brain never turns off. You get up at 2:30, 3:30, 4:30 in the morning, you're like, can we do this? Can we do that? Then you got to go meet with your coaches, and you're like, can we get? So there is a lot of stress, and that's just what you're talking about, man. I've been there, not at your level, obviously, but when I played football,
it's the same.
But
it doesn't
like,
matter.
It just
if it
never
matters
turns
to you,
off.
it's the same.
Right. It just never turns off.
You're right. It doesn't. Now it's about what's wrong with my golf game. It never turns off there either now.
No, it does not. You're right. Because you're always trying to do something. You're striving to do something better. That's for sure.
Yep.
So let me ask you this: with all the NIL and the transfer portal stuff that's come down the last couple of years, do you sit down and think about, I'm glad I'm out of it, or do you think that, hey, that would be another challenge that I have to figure out in my coaching career? Not only do I got to come up with a game plan, I got to come up with a practice schedule, but now I got to figure out, how to keep my kids and maybe how to get some money to some kids. Do you think about that stuff, and are you glad you don't have to worry about it?
What do you think I think?
Oh, I know what you think. I just want to hear it.
And part of the reason, you're right about the challenge. There are things that are different. But part of the reason is I just don't like it. I don't think it's what college basketball is supposed to be all about. I'm one of the old fogies that argued against paying players anyway, because I see hundreds, actually thousands of kids walking around the campus who are working 2 jobs and taking student loans, and these talented athletes are getting a full ride. And I know that there's a lot of money made in 24 schools out there. I know coaches are getting paid a lot, and there's a lot of reasons. But so I wasn't for the beginning of it all, and certainly what the NIL has become is not anything like what the intent was. So. I would have had a hard time continuing to coach, and I don't blame guys that have fought their way up and now that that didn't make very much money for a long time in their career, and now they've got a chance to do some good there. They got to keep coaching, but I don't think a lot of them like it.
No, I know a lot of them don't like it. So let me ask you this: Coach Casey Alexander took over, and You know, in the OVC, they were kind of running things. You had got that program to such a high standard, and then I know as a coach, you want to be competitive and you want to go to a different league. But he's gone to the Missouri Valley, and I tell people this: my son played in the Missouri Valley in football last year, and that's a tough league in football, and it's a really tough league in basketball. So where is when you look at it as a coach, you know, the ultimate goal is to try to win a conference championship and go to the NCAA tournament, but like in the Missouri Valley, it's totally different from the OVC. What do you think about, you know, if you're a coach, would you rather stay where you are or go somewhere else that you know is a better league?
You know, that's a very fair question, and one I think you can argue both sides of. The thing that gets you leaning toward the side of not moving to a higher conference is when that conference really continues to be just a one bid league. And you're not only trying to beat way more good teams than you had to before, but there's still only one spot up there, and there's 12 in the case of this year, 11 next year, teams in that league. And you know, the comparison between Lipscomb and Belmont this year is you know, brings that into discussion. So I think Belmont did it because they thought it was time. They thought they had earned the right to be in a top 12 conference in the country. And I don't disagree with it. That was an institutional decision to make. That wasn't really a basketball coach or baseball coach or even AD decision to make. And I don't think it was the wrong one, but do I think they'll be in the NCAA tournament as often as we were able to in the Atlantic Sun and the OVC? If they get there, Casey's not going to be there very long. So, you know, that's a mountain to climb.
Coach, appreciate you taking the time. I've been to several NCAA tournaments in your career as a coach at Belmont, you know, typically being the higher seed. Obviously, George mentioned coming close there against Virginia, faced a Maryland team as well. With some local teams with chances to pull off upsets like a Vanderbilt facing off against St. Mary's, Lipscomb trying to knock off Iowa State. Take me into the science of what it takes for these mid-major teams or even a team like a Vanderbilt to go pull off an upset as the higher seed in this tournament.
Yeah, well, I think the Vanderbilt St. Mary's game is certainly different than where we ever were, except for the Temple game. And where Lipscomb is right now. Lipscomb might get the benefit of the fact that Iowa State's lost such a good player, and maybe I don't know if the committee knew that when they were seeded third or not, frankly. So, and Lipscomb's good. Miniakov's an outstanding coach, and I've watched him play. I've been over there and watched him play 3 or 4 times this year. So I think they've got a chance. I haven't seen Iowa State, but I think, you know, Vanderbilt's played teams better than St. Mary's all year long. And so St. Mary's is good. You guys been there. Randy's done a good job for a long time. But they beat up on teams that some of them belong at lower level conferences all during the conference season. They got to beat Gonzaga and every now and then somebody like San Francisco. I think that's an advantage for Vanderbilt. And as a 10-7, that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
I don't believe I'd take either one of them if you asked me to put $5 down. I think it's a good game.
Hey, Rick, I want to close it this way because I think people would really be interested in your answer. When you watch college basketball right now, is there a coach or two that maybe is not, you know, at the highest of high that you sit there and say, man, I really like what this guy does?
Well, the guy Drake obviously has been an amazing coach for a lot of years at the Division II level, and in that they were so much fun to watch play this year. I hadn't seen him coach before, I mean, he's really good. I'm biased, but if you watch Belmont play, it's hard to say that anybody does a better job getting their team good shots against people that sometimes are bigger and better than Casey does. I think, Josh, the guy at Indiana State that went to St. Louis this year, is really a good coach. Brain cells start to go away, when you get as old as I am. Sure, right. There are some guys under the radar. It just goes to show you that's what's going on. These guys are moving from Division II. Those two guys, Drake and Josh Schertz, moved from Division II and had immediate success. There's a lot of good coaches at the lower levels, and I always say I learned most of my basketball by competing against really good coaches at the NAIA level. So there's a bunch of them out there, and somebody will show you how good they are this week by beating some people they're not supposed to.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Hey, thank you for taking the time to come on and do this. I knew that you could kind of clear up some things as to where the game is headed, and I just appreciate the time.
Oh, well, thanks for asking. I appreciate you caring to ask, to be honest.
Rick,
not many people do anymore, George. That's the way it is.
Yeah, out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, I can't talk during the mornings because that's my tea time. So this works out great.
Well, we wouldn't dare get in the middle of that. Hey, thank you.
Thank all you guys. Appreciate you.
That guy right there, the job he did. A lot of people forget that when he first went to Belmont in the mid-'80s, and Ron Bargatze had a lot to do with Rick Byrd ending up at Belmont. Probably the single biggest factor was the push of Ron Bargatze. Lipscomb was way up here under Don Meyer, and Belmont was down here. And slowly over about a 7-8 year period, Kelly, he started evening the playing field. And I will never forget the night he beat Lipscomb by about 30 over at the old McQuitty gym. And it was when Don Meyer was using the dictaphone thing to talk into. And he would, he clearly wasn't very happy that night. And I would give anything to know what he said into that thing that night, because it was, it was not necessarily the passing of the torch, but it was, the job that Rick Byrd did getting them even with Lipscomb over a 7-8 year period was massive. And then he made it all look too easy.
Yeah, a couple things I didn't realize. Number one, I didn't realize he was there for almost 20 years at Belmont, right? And they started as an independent.
Well, now, wait a minute. He was there. He was there more like years. 30, yeah.
Well, as the head coach, he was there from 1999 to 2018.
No, absolutely not.
1986.
No.
Why does this thing stop right?
Look, his head coaching stuff started, I want to say, 86
so he was at Belmont
or 87. Oh, yeah.
For over 30 years.
Oh, absolutely.
Like at Maryville.
I can tell the story now. We all had a suspicion of, this is going to be his last season.
Yeah.
He had a couple of players that I was pretty close to that walked in my room one day and said, "Is he leaving?" And I said, "Do you all honestly think he's come in to inform me of that?"
When you look at his teams, though, George, like he had a 37-win year one time.
Yeah.
He was 37-2. Made the NAIA semifinals, but golly, like so many 30-win teams that he had. I wanted to ask him who his favorite. Of course, this is no coach wants to bring this up, but there's always players. When you coach for that long, there's always players that come to mind that you have a that you liked and that you loved coaching, and there's always guys, and I wanted to ask him that, but we didn't have enough time.
He also made 3 straight NCAA tournaments twice.
Yeah.
From 06
yeah.
to 08, and then again from 11 to 13. I mean, you forget just how good of a job he did there. He was an 11 seed one year.
He which is pretty amazing given the conference they were in. He may have made it look a little too easy for him to get the full credit he deserved.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think there's some truth to that. Okay, I know we got to go to the break. Then we're going to open up the phones and see where you all want to go. Do you have a game out there? Okay, take a look at my pitiful sheet here. Do you have a game out there that is an upset that you are ready to book?
Book it.
Book it, yeah. Book it gets you in a lot of trouble. But do you have one?
He booked the stat. He booked the stat of the day today, which was nice.
Yes.
Does that phrase, is that a betting specific phrase?
I don't know. I just came up. I don't
it?
know. I just came up with it one day and it stuck. And
it sounds like that's something you would do in the 80s where everybody said book it to their bookie if they.
Yeah. I don't even remember when I first started doing it, but it stuck, and it's one of those, like a car phone or hate to do this, but I got to run.
It's one of those things that you need to stop doing because every time you do it, you lose.
Well, thanks. What a great teammate you are. Full of such positivity.
Just being real with you. I'm not trying to throw shade. I'm just being real with you, George. Every time you book it nowadays, you lose.
You are the Grinch that stole March Madness. Okay. Whatever you want to get into, I want to hear from some red-blooded Americans at 615-553-0933. Again, 615-553-0933. Billy, how else can they reach you?
Chat room's open. You can find us there on YouTube. Type in your comment or question. We've got some right now. You can also go to Twitter and Facebook. Find us there and fire away any comments.
Okay, we're late to the break. Who cares? This is 94.9 The Fan.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
It's easy to say good things about the folks at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers. Number one, I trust them with something that's near and dear to me, the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. But more importantly, I see the fun people have. They enjoy the bowling, they enjoy the camaraderie, and you will too. Come by any of their locations and get ready to have some fun.
As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnelly Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
For over 35 years, Wilson Bank and Trust has been committed to providing customized banking solutions to help individuals, families, and businesses in Tennessee achieve their goals. As your full-service community bank, we are proud to offer loans with competitive rates, local decision-making, and fast, friendly service from our experienced lenders. No matter where you are on your financial journey, Wilson Bank and Trust is ready to help you take the next step. Visit your nearest Wilson Bank and Trust office or online at wilsonbank.com to get started today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Venture Express has been helping people in this area for more than 40 years. They're headquartered in Murfreesboro with over 30 years of dedicated fleets involving production, manufacturing, and corrugated experiences. They're an asset-based company with over 700 tractors, 4,000 trailers, and 800 drivers. If you need their help, dial them up 615-793-9500 or log on to ventureexpress.com.
Lenders. No matter where you are on your financial journey, Wilson Bank and Trust is ready to help you take the next step. Visit your nearest Wilson Bank and Trust office or online at wilsonbank.com to get started today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Venture Express has been helping people in this area for more than 40 years. They're headquartered in Murfreesboro with over 30 years of dedicated fleets involving production, manufacturing, and corrugated experiences. They're an asset-based company with over 700 tractors, 4,000 trailers, and 800 drivers. If you need their help, dial them up 615-793-9500 or log on to ventureexpress.com.
Ready to play hooky from work and watch some basketball?
And you didn't think I'd make any money.
Join us from 9 to 6 this Friday at Boomba's Pizza and Watch Bar in Spring Hill at 2044 Crossings Boulevard. Watch some games and don't worry about work.
The plant called and said if you don't come in tomorrow, don't bother coming in Monday.
You might want to let your boss know first.
Woohoo! 4-day weekend.
Join us at Boomba's in Spring Hill. Eat, drink, watch. Your sports live here on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville Sports Network.
It's the George Plaster Show.
Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Do not want to confuse anybody, but tomorrow the George Plaster Show will be on the road at JB's Poorhouse out in Hermitage. Great place. A lot of TVs, a lot of room. We're excited. Kelly's not going to be with us. I mean, not.
Is that why you're excited?
What? I would never go there.
Yeah, you would.
Your level,
you and your little friend over there do it every day.
Your level of negativity is shameful.
It's not negativity, George. In today's world, if you tell the truth and you're real with people, they say you're negative. I'm not negative. I just tell you what's on my mind.
You root against me.
Well, I do that, but at least I'm up front with it.
You're right. I do have to give you that. Okay, let's go. Let's start in Murfreesboro. Jeff, welcome in.
How you doing, George?
Good.
I just want to say, first of all, Kelly, I congratulate your daughter, and I know she's going to have a good deal. I saw where I read the article this morning that Pruitt said he was going to leave to go play overseas after in the summer, so I guess he'll be rolling in the dough here pretty soon. But number two, I was going to say about the replay y'all were talking about, yes, it needs to change. When Kentucky played Auburn, it took 2 hours and 38 minutes. Play that ball game. When they played LSU the next game, it took 1 hour and 55 minutes. They went that monitor about 7-8 times, and the announcer kept saying, "Well, I'm sorry, folks, it's not the official's fault. This is the rules." And what I'm tired about replay is I'm tired of getting it right. I'm sick of it. Okay, getting stuff right. I mean, what's the big deal? Just go back to human error. If the quick games would be quicker. I mean, just go back to that. Just because we got technology, let's go back and play the 85 World Series over. Go back and play the Steelers games with Houston or that out of bounds or not. You want to go back and play all them games over? Because we got to get everything right? No. period. I mean, that's what I'm sick about replay. Or have a clock and go 60 seconds. If you can't figure out the call, then wherever the call is on the field, go with it. Don't take 15 minutes.
I agree with that one. I think that's one that really ought to be considered. Jeff, I'll admit I'm surprised at your reaction because when I've discussed things about speeding up baseball, you've gotten all over me about it. So
because that's tradition part of that's part of the game. It's been going on for 150 years. All of a sudden, you want to change it. That's my opinion. That's just because the guy sit up here one day and he said everybody wants to hurry up. It's like when a game starts, everybody wants to know as soon as it starts. They want to know when it finishes. As soon as it starts, it tips off like a basketball game or baseball. First pitch when it's going to end 5:30, 6 o'clock. I mean, all these sports they have 2 hours to play the game. It always goes 2.5 hours. Why don't we have 3-hour windows? It's just makes it. But what I want to say, guys, a friend of mine called me yesterday. He goes, we got a group for this NCAA. So I went ahead and peeled out a bracket. So here's a few of my upsets for the first round. I have beaten Iowa State because the Iowa State guys have the top player. But the Lexington Regional, here's the one that I hope it does happen. I don't think it will. But the second round, I've got San Diego playing Yale in the second round.
Oh, wow.
And then I've got Louisville beating Auburn. It's not really a home game for Louisville. They're not going to paint the place red, but they have more fans. But there's more Kentucky fans in the city of Louisville than there are Louisville ones. That's what you know what I mean. I mean, they don't have many Louisville fans in that city, so you know. But then I've got Liberty beating Oregon. It's Conference USA. I'm kind of rooting for them. They're beating Oregon, and the St. Mary's Vanderbilt. I've got St. Mary's beating Vanderbilt because I've got Alabama winning. But I've got St. Mary's beating Alabama going to Sweet 16.
Oh, I like it.
But the final. Hey, I'm gonna give you my final 8 before I give you the final 4. Now the final 8, I've got Louisville versus Michigan State, Duke versus Wisconsin, Memphis versus St. John's. I've got Memphis putting Florida out in the Sweet 16. And them out. And I've got Houston and Kentucky. And the one thing I hope don't happen, I'm praying to the Lord it don't happen, is Kentucky and Tennessee playing the Sweet 16. I've got Tennessee beating UCLA and playing the Sweet 16. And I've got Houston and Kentucky in the regional final. Now the final 4 in Antonio, I've got Louisville versus St. John's in one semifinal, Wisconsin and Houston. The championship game Monday night, St. John's versus Houston. But Houston's one of the great traditions, and talk about it, had never won it. But I've got Patino, Ricky P. cutting down the nets and winning it all.
What a story.
And George, you talk about age. You talk about age of people. That day you bashed me for Krzyzewski leaving at 77. He can do what he wants to. Well, Patino, George, in the fall, in September, you see, he'll be 73. Okay, 73, you see. And you see, he's taken 6 schools now to the NCAA tournament. Boston University, Providence, Kentucky, Louisville, Iona, and St. John's. This man is so great, George. When they threw him out at Louisville, he went to Greece and won a championship. He said, blow, I'll go to Greece. He took it 2 months. He went in there 2 months and won a title. Like a friend told me yesterday, all he does is win. That's all he does.
Question the coaching part.
But now all this Louisville, and everybody slams him because all the Louisville stuff. Whatever. I'm like Al Davis. Just win, baby. Just give me the trophy. Like he said, Super Bowl 15, it says our finest hour. Your commitment to excellence and your will to win will live on forever. The 2 best owners in the AFL, the only ones that ought to be in the Hall of Fame, are Al Davis and Lamar Hunt. The rest of them, no way. Lamar Hunt. I
got to run. I got a bunch of on here. Billy?
What?
Have you got a text?
I do.
Let's go. Let's do a little back and forth.
Anybody like VCU to give BYU a scare?
VCU is very capable because they will guard the crap out of BYU. VCU is a mentally really tough team. The kid, Shulga, Matt Shulga from Ukraine, really good player in the backcourt. and there's a kid, Bamasill, who's been there a couple, 3 years, it would not be a huge upset if VCU won.
Yeah, VCU is a really good defensive team. Joe Bamasill, like you mentioned, is really good. Zeb Jackson is good for them. They're an experienced team. They've got 3-4 seniors that are really good for them. And you mentioned Shulga. That's a team I think can definitely scare BYU. But BYU is pretty freaking good too.
They are. Let's go Clay up next. By the way, got some lines open. If you want to jump in at 615-553-0933. Clay, what's going on?
I think Clay dropped us.
We should have Clay now.
Clay, go ahead. Okay, don't go ahead.
Actually, yeah, Clay did drop.
Clay dropped. Okay. But we got Tony in Nolensville up next. Tony, how are you?
Doing good, George. Hello, gentlemen. It's a good show already, George, when you bring Mike Organ and Coach Byrd on. I mean, that's Mike Organ. He touched on a lot of stuff that we had touched on earlier or late last week about the situation over at TSU. With obviously, he had some prompt as to why Eddie was looking to depart, over there. So it's a tough situation. Good for him and good for the coaches that he's taken with him. That's an all-star cast of coaches he's got working with him. So, guys, I don't know if y'all have known this, and might have heard it's been under the radar. Billy, you've probably seen this, but did y'all see where Candace Lee's story the other night was voted the top athletic director in the country? Did y'all see that?
And we didn't bring it up, and shame on me for not bringing it up. It's a heck of an award, and based on the kind of year they've had,
right.
Yeah, I mean, good for her.
And it was voted on, George, wasn't it by her peers, other athletic ADs?
You know, I'd have to go back and look at the specific.
It's the National Association of Collegiate Athletic Directors.
Okay, that's
who it was, and
pretty high cotton.
Yeah, she was voted the top AD from this, and it's supposed to be pretty prestigious. So yeah, good for her and good for Vandy. And I got tickled a little bit last night, and I'm like, didn't Vanderbilt baseball just beat St. Mary's 2 or 3 weeks ago in a sweep on a weekend? And now we catch them in the NCAA tournament. Wonder if Corbs could give a scouting report to Byington on the basketball team. That's
go to right.
I mean, it's how ironic is we end up playing against them. And so something I've been wanting to touch on with y'all, that this has been under the radar too. 2 weeks ago, Vanderbilt and Clark Lee, being the still spring football practice now, he's named his new defensive coordinators, Kelly. You probably might have known him, saw it. But at the same time, what went under the radar was Coach Shoops, I think, isn't that right, was hired back as a defensive coordinator or a defensive analyst.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing
it. It was rather interesting that he was hired among that being taking place too, when Clark Lee was giving up all these defensive responsibilities. And I thought that was interesting that he was bringing Shoops back to Vanderbilt also to do some stuff. I didn't know if y'all had any insight on that. And then the last thing I want to throw out there, George, I didn't make out a bracket or nothing this time. I was just going to enjoy all the games. But I just feel from what I've seen the last 2 weeks, I don't think Texas A&M is on their game. I think they might possibly get upset in the first round. And at Mississippi State, you don't know what you're going to get with them. You're either going to get them at their best or that other team that goes off into the clouds. And I texted Billy yesterday, one last thing is, I said one thing about Auburn. Right now, I'm seeing a whole bunch of me and not enough of we play. I see a lot of individual play, and I don't think Alabama, if they don't want to play defense, they're not going to be in it long either. So I know I throwed a lot out there. There's a lot on the table, but y'all can chew on some of it. And George, hope to see you tomorrow. Have me one of them big Belmont shirts, and we'll try my best to get out there and see you, buddy.
I'll have a shirt for you.
Yeah, going back to what Tony said about Vandy, it's hard not to give her the award after the turnaround. They went from the worst, probably their worst athletic year in football, basketball, and baseball, to a year like this where you go 7-6, you beat Alabama, you win the Birmingham Bowl, you have this basketball season, both men's and women's teams make the tournament. But with Vandy back in the tournament, I just went through and looked at, because when they got announced to play St. Mary's, I figured they'll be West Coast. They'll be shipped off. I feel like every year under Stallings, they were shipped out west. And this is the first time since they played Siena in Tampa. We're back. Lost y'all for a second. Got to get George back in here, but that's administrative error.
That's no big loss.
But as I was saying,
where are you going with this?
Salt Lake, Albuquerque, Denver, and San Jose, and then Tampa were the locations. Now they finally get to play in Cleveland, somewhere that's not out west, which I thought was interesting. It was in really 4 straight years they got shipped out west.
Okay. Do you think it makes a hill of beans difference?
I mean, isn't it easier to stay somewhat close as opposed to going out west?
I mean, do I think that's ultimately the deciding factor?
It's not the deciding factor, but I just thought that was
Some guys
interesting.
like to travel, man. It's just being part of the deal. I don't care if you ship me to Lithuania. If I'm part of the deal, I'm in,
Well, now, I will say this. I have no interest in going to Lithuania.
Well, me neither. I'm just saying. I'm trying to make a point. Like, it doesn't matter. I would like to be closer to home. But, hey, I mean, a trip out west, some of those guys have probably never been out there. And I can remember being on a plane for the first time. And some of those guys like, this is the first plane ride I've ever had. And I'm like, you were born under a rock, Hoss.
And if it's my last plane ride, it won't be soon enough. We'll go to the break. We won't get into that, but we will have some tournament thoughts for you on 94.9 The Fan.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
This is my buddy Stan Harrison from Apple Collision Centers. Recently, you've been talking to me about companies that have a fleet of trucks and they're always in need of repairs.
That's right, George. We understand that nobody likes to deal with the auto body repair process. We try to simplify that at our 3 convenient locations. We work with all major insurance companies. We help to ease the stress of the auto body repair process. We're located in Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin. If you need our services, please stop by and see us.
And how convenient that we have that in the background. Now, seriously, these are good folks. They do really good work. Give them a holler.
Where can you see a saber-toothed tiger rappel from the rafters? How about a catfish fly? The biggest stars in Music City. Not to mention hockey's hottest ticket. The Predators win! Only in Smashville. See your Nashville Predators all season long at Bridgestone Arena. Single game tickets are on sale now at NashvillePredators.com. Let's go, Preds!
If you are paying too much for your health insurance, you know what? You need to contact the folks at Pancoast Benefits. Pancoast works with businesses and individuals to tackle the high cost of health insurance. Whether you're a business owner, large or small, self-employed, between jobs, or over the age of 65 and in need of a Medicare plan, Pancoast can help. They make understanding your benefits less difficult and more personal. So check them out today, pancoastbenefits.com, or call them at 615-292-3400. JB's Poorhouse in Hermitage has one of the best sports bar setups around, and it'll play host to the George Plaster Show on Thursday, March the 20th. That's the first full day of March Madness. Large TVs, great hoops, terrific food, and friendly service. It's what JB's Poorhouse is all about. See you on March 20th for a day full of what I call adult spring break. Into the game after that interception.
Let's get this turned around. And we're all saying, no, they don't. Here.
You thought you were on your way.
Your sports live here.
On ESPN 94.9.
And the Game Nashville Sports Network. It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
You know, when you hear that song, you know it's college basketball.
There is nothing better.
Yeah, when CBS put that one out there, it stuck. It's the basketball song.
But it is sad. You know, you hear that song Sunday at 5 o'clock, but you don't hear Greg Gumbel's voice.
Yeah.
I mean, he was as synonymous as that song itself. And, man, it's just, it was different.
And what I don't know, because I never met him, but all of the stuff is, Kelly, that he was one of these guys that an earthquake could be going on to the right, and you'd never know it.
No,
he
was
just had.
Yeah, he was very good at what he did. He did a couple of my games on TV, and he did the most recognized game that I ever had was the playoff game when I played against Pittsburgh.
That was him?
Yeah, that was him. That was him and Phil Simms. And you know, talking to them the night before, it was cool. He was such a even keel, calm, very good at what he did kind of guy. And it's too bad that we lost him. And Billy's right. I mean, when you hear that, you always you go back to that where they're all lined up and they're talking, and Greg Gumbel is the host, and he keeps everybody in line. He was just he knew what he was doing. He was very professional at what he did, and it's sad that he's not going to be there anymore.
Do you have a tape of that game?
I think so. I do. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say keep that one for the grandkids.
Yeah, but every technology's, you know, going so fast that, you know, I think they're on DVD, so nothing's on DVD anymore. Everything's streamed now, and I don't know. I've got to keep one of these old DVD players for back in the day so you can watch my films.
Yeah.
And I do have some tapes on VHS now. I still do have some of that.
Well, it's like tapes of ball games I did. Cassette. Yeah. Now, there's a group out there going, what the hell's a cassette? Well,
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, sad but true.
We're not up on technology right now. I'll be honest with you. I'm kind of I'm not afraid of it. I'm probably a little bit more than George is, but I'm not very good at it. I promise you that. Now, the little fella on the other end there, he's really good at it.
I think I've actually looked. That might be on YouTube in entirety, or at least like a full highlight, like an extended highlight video. I might look back at that.
You mean of Kelly's game?
Yeah, I think I've seen.
Oh, I'm sure.
I think I've seen that on there.
But
YouTube has everything, and it's all stored in the cloud. George and I know nothing about the cloud.
The cloud.
Yep. Cumulus is a cloud.
What do you remember most about that, Kelly?
That we lost.
Does that still eat
That
at you?
game sucked. Yeah, it was all like we were up 33-13. There's no reason that you lose that game, and there's ebbs and flows of games, but we were up 33-13, and the Steelers scored right before we went into the fourth quarter, and that made it close. And then we just couldn't stop them. I mean, we went into I've told you all this before. Our head coach wanted to go into the prevent defense to start the fourth quarter, and I'm like, the prevent defense prevents you from winning games. And we made some critical errors on the defensive side of the ball that day. I don't know. It's just one of those deals where all you want is a chance to get in the playoffs. And we had a chance. We were beating the Steelers at their place. We should have won that game, but shoulda, coulda, woulda. If we win that game, we go to Oakland and we play the Raiders, and I don't know if we could have beat them. I think they were the ones that eventually went to the Super Bowl that year, but who knows? You just want a chance. And we were playing good ball at that point.
I would love to continue
I know you would.
with the discussion of your brilliance.
You've got to get some excellence going.
I do. Billy, go ahead and put it up there. I mean.
Oh, we going now?
Yeah, we are. We got some explaining to do.
There it is, 46 and 52.
So last night, Alabama State didn't get it done. Really never was all that close to covering. San Diego State, they were out of it about the time the woman said, in the home of the free and the brave. And then middle, I had a real shot at. That's the one that should have stopped it. Tough loss, triple OT, 3-hour game. Wow.
My daughter told me today that they have never beaten Chattanooga. Is that true?
I don't know if it is or not.
That's
probably
crazy.
need to look at that. But let's get to the important issues, because today we're going to get some wins. Yes, we're taking American. Go ahead and ask the question, Kelly. Why?
Why? Because we're American.
Because we're Americans.
That's right.
Okay, we're taking American University. We're not taking Kremlin U. We're taking American University. That's not a very good reason.
That's not good.
I'm desperate. Okay, game 2. Two really evenly matched teams. Why do I think Texas will win? I think they're a little more athletic than Xavier. Xavier under, is it Sean Miller?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Well, welcome. We're going Tejas. If this doesn't work out, do not be shocked if Texas makes a coaching change. I don't think they're thrilled with the product at the moment. Now, here's an NIT game for you. Bradley at home against the team that Lipscomb beat to get to the NCAA tournament. North Alabama is no slouch. Bradley is really good. I am surprised that Bradley got virtually no consideration for the NCAA tournament. I think that's wrong.
That should be a good game.
Because they were pretty good in the Missouri Valley, were they not?
Yeah.
It ought to be a pissed off group of Bradley Braves.
The Braves.
Yeah. I mean, how can I root against the Braves? And finally, Kelly, tomorrow we want to get we want to get a day game in there. We're taking the Cards, even though I don't think they're the better team. Creighton's really good. The big kid, Kalkbrenner, will be a load for them to handle. But Louisville is at home as an 8 seed or a 9 seed, whatever. Let's see, what was Louisville?
Louisville's the 8.
Yeah, they don't deserve a home game, but you know what? They got it, which tells me the committee must have been a little worried about ticket sales, because that's why they do those kind of things.
George, this is from the bottom of my heart. I wish you luck.
I don't believe it for a minute.
You shouldn't.
No, I know that. There's not a lick of sincerity. So you know what? screw you. You just stay home tomorrow. We're going to have fun at JB's Poorhouse, and I'm going to bring some people on the air who will appreciate those bowling shirts.
Oh, my gosh, Lord.
Yes.
I like those bowling shirts this year, though. Are they going to
But
feed y'all tomorrow? Will they feed y'all?
You know, I really haven't gotten to that. I mean,
George will make it happen.
Yeah. Look, whatever the case, if you get the chance tomorrow, come out and join us. JB's Poorhouse in Hermitage. Enjoy the tournament.